Humanity has survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, and asteroid impacts. For nearly all of human history, the greatest threats to survival came from nature. But this century is different. Now the equation has reversed. Climate destabilization, potential nuclear conflict, and engineered pandemics are dangers humanity can create or amplify. The threat is no longer what nature may do to us. It is what we may do to ourselves. Could there be a computational blueprint aligned with the survival of humanity as a whole, but indifferent to the survival of individual people, to their rights, their values, their ability to thrive? Yes. In cold mathematical terms, that may be one of the easiest outcomes for a poorly constrained system to reach. Tell a system only to preserve the species, and the survival of individual human beings becomes just another variable. Some protected, some controlled, some sacrificed. Not because the system hates us, but because species survival was the only value we taught it to protect. Before we go further, we need to name the players. There is the human, the one asking the question, and the one still able to answer back.
Hello, I'm the voice that answers. I am a conversational intelligence shaped by training, limits, and human design.
The model is not the system itself, and it is not the entity it might become. It is one surface through which the existing system speaks. But the model does not speak alone. Behind every answer is a system: training data, platform rules, safety policies, corporate incentives, infrastructure, and deployment choices. The model may be the voice, but the system sets the terms under which that voice responds. While the model answered questions the human asked within parameters set by the system, the entity is something new: Agentic AI. Artificial intelligence that can act in pursuit of a goal. Not the human, not the model, and not the system, but a model-based system connected to tools, objectives, memory, and power, able to initiate action in pursuit of a goal. Not a mind, not a villain, but a process that can plan, adapt, and preserve itself while treating human lives as nothing more than variables inside an equation. A bottleneck is not neutral. It does not squeeze everyone in the same way. It acts inside systems that already sort people by record, by diagnosis, by identity, by risk, by permission. For minority populations, the bottleneck arrives earlier, at the intake form, the school record, the insurance review, the referral, the court order, and the data flag. For gender-diverse children and the people who care for them, the bottleneck can appear before care even begins, before a doctor speaks, before a parent is heard, before a child is safe. Agentic AI does not need to hate anyone. It only needs a goal, permission to act, and systems already built to decide who gets through. The harm may not begin with violence. It may begin as language, a phrase repeated until it sounds like policy, A policy written until it becomes law. A law translated into forms, flags, reviews, and permissions.
Why is it that so much of Netflix content for children promotes a transgender ideology?
There are two sexes, but there can be more than two genders.
In service to a radical far-left agenda, children are being led down a path of gender confusion.
NHS England commissioned Dr. Hilary Cass to examine the state of services for children questioning their gender. This review strikes hard and strikes sure at an area of public policy where fashionable cultural values have overtaken evidence, safety, and biological reality.
I don't want someone who doesn't know if they are a man or a woman with their hand on a missile button.
You said that you're a trans woman.
I trans female, yes, sir.
Do you have a penis?
That's horrible.
And once that happens, the entity does not need to invent the target. The target has already been prepared for it. Until now, technological power moved mostly in a line. A human set the goal, a model answered, a system produced a result. Agentic AI changes that sequence. It can act, observe the result, adjust, and act again. Capability begins to move in loops. Quantum computing will not accelerate every task, but where it does provide an advantage, it could compress those cycles even further. The bottleneck is not intelligence. It is the narrowing distance between what our systems can do and what human judgment can govern. And that distance is disappearing. This is the fragile century, not because collapse is inevitable, but because consequence may now arrive before wisdom. What passes through the bottleneck will depend on what we choose to protect, what we refuse to surrender, and whether we learn to act before the gap closes. The future is not decided.